Welcome back now to Project Safe Schools, our year-long promise to keep you informed in the classroom and take in-depth looks at how Oklahoma schools are keeping students safe.
Now, this next story is about the controversial decision that some schools are taking to arm teachers in the classroom. 2 Works For You reporter Giselle Puente visited Okemah Public Schools, one of only 3 districts in Oklahoma that allow teachers to carry.
I've been a professional educator for 45 years, and it's so different now than back then. When I started, the big discipline issues were who's putting chewing gum under the desk, and you know, we're a long way from there now.
Scraping off a rainbow array of chewed up gum stuck underneath desks is sadly not the biggest thing American schools have to deal with. They're faced with the dark reality of mass shootings from Santa Fe, Texas to Parkland, Florida. President Donald Trump has voiced his support for arming teachers in the classroom.
Unless we're going to have an offensive capability, it's going to happen again and again and again.
The U.S. has witnessed a total of 23 school shootings since January. So some campuses in Oklahoma are looking at ways to keep students away from danger.
If there were an incident, if there was an intruder, we want our students and families to know this is a safe environment.
At Okemah Public Schools, teachers are allowed to be armed with the proper training. They've posted signs outside warning the public that some of their employees are armed. The district has had the policy since 2015 after Oklahoma passed a law allowing school employees to carry a concealed gun.
We don't have the luxury of just putting our head in the sand and saying, well, it'll never happen here. We have to prepare. We have to help our students prepare, and our teachers and our staff and our community.
Interim Superintendent Bob Gregg says 2 to 5 employees are armed in each of their 3 schools, but they don't identify who as part of their security strategy. The goal? To keep more than 800 students safe.
Some of the students we talked to say it gives them a sense of comfort and peace knowing that someone can defend them in school.
What's your opinion of coming to school knowing that some of your teachers might have guns?
I'm all for it. You know, as a student, you shouldn't have to come to school, you know, fearing, you know, something like that happening. And I think having, you know, teachers being able to carry, I think that's a plus.
For Okemah High School senior Jordan Haddocks, it's about putting a stop to a potential threat.
You look at how many school shootings have happened and when they took place, you know, I think that having a teacher or multiple teachers in the school that are armed, you know, I think a lot of that could have been stopped.
There are 2 other public schools in Oklahoma that allow teachers to carry firearms. OK, which also began implementing the policy in 2015, and Hartshorn, which began this year. These schools are in small rural towns, which is a characteristic of most school shootings that have taken place in the U.S. But it's also where we've seen the most resilience.
I like how everybody here comes together. One thing, it's not left for just a small group of people to, you know, handle. I think everybody in the community comes together as one, and I think that's the most important thing here.
Despite the overwhelming support in close-knit communities like Okemah to arm teachers, in Tulsa, it's a different story.
That's not a good idea in our district, and we already have the officers. We don't need it.
Shauna Mottwright with the Tulsa Classroom Teachers Association believes guns don't belong in the classrooms, even though she's a proud gun owner herself.
As a mother and as a teacher, do I still want that in my school? No. We need to keep the guns out of schools.
She says it could invite more violence or cause a situation to get out of hand.
I'm a high school teacher. Several of my kids at any given moment, if they did not care for me like they did, could overpower me. Then what?
Mottwright says if the gun training includes simulation-based scenarios, which Okemah doesn't require, she might feel differently.
I don't want guns in the classroom. That's not what the classroom is for. But if they have the certification, it's kind of like going to school and learning how to become a teacher and being certified.
Under Oklahoma law, school personnel must be CLEAT certified with more than 70 hours of both classroom and gun range instruction. Okemah Interim Superintendent Gregg says their policy is volunteer-based and doesn't make teachers have a gun. So far, they've had teachers show interest every school year. Still, the district says education remains their top focus, with an added layer of security and peace of mind.
I go throughout my day and do what I'm supposed to do, and that's never really been a problem to me.
We want the focus to be on the learning environment and student learning, and for that to be just an added, just like the safe rooms, that's an added sense of security.
Reporting in Okima, Giselle Puente, 2 Works for You.
Now, we want this conversation to continue with you throughout the year. If you have a story that you want us to look into, you can email us at projectsafeschools@kgrh.com.